Hello Internet, welcome to Making Money. My name's Eric and this is your Daily Dollar, our financial segment where I give you one financial lesson every day to help you reach your financial goals. Okay, so today's lesson is another one that is very important yet rather simple. It drives right to the heart of what we've been talking about lately. Today's lesson is cut out reoccurring expenses. I know, it seems obvious, but this is something that especially nowadays when we're getting into more of a subscription model type world, whether it be Netflix, whether it be, Audible, getting books, whatever it is, all of these subscriptions, grocery services, you can, rent cars on subscription now, whatever you're doing. There is so many subscriptions out there. And the problem with recurring charges like subscriptions, we often lose track of them. And if we're not constantly looking at our monthly expenses, our incoming and outflowing cash flow, we don't notice how much we're actually spending on these things. They may seem like, $5 there, $10 there, but it adds up quickly. So today's lesson is to cut out reoccurring expenses. And you can do this a number of ways, just as many ways as there are for you to sign up for subscription services now. There are ways for you to combat these extra expenses in your accounts. So, you can go through any type of software these days like Truebill, Wallet Hub. There's a ton of stuff out there that you can use to cut down. And basically what these providers do, these software services do, they go through and they see all your reoccurring expenses and they show it to you. They'll tell you if, it's something that you've, been paying for X amount of time. And then you can go in and cancel services through them. In a lot of cases, they will go in and cancel them for you. Most of the time, canceling subscriptions is not too difficult. So if you did not want to go all out and get a software to help you, you could do it yourself. And it's really just a matter of going through your bills and seeing if you have an account that all your money comes out of, keeping track of that account, what comes out of it. If you see, hey, I got this expense that's going out to this subscription that I don't use anymore, cut that off. Go in, cancel your subscription. Most of the time you can either call or go online and cancel. Sometimes it gets a little tricky because these subscriptions aren't always very transparent with what they call themselves. So you'll go into your account and you may be looking for X name and it might not actually be under that. But pro tip, if you do go on Google and put in the name that it's associated with, let's say you get a $10 expense and it says $10 expense, Wrigley Dynamite Incorporated, right? You have no idea what that is. If you look that up, chances are you'll be able to find what that actually is related to. And that's true with just pretty much all expenses. You should be able to track it back to what it actually is. Especially if you see it as a reoccurring expense. If you run into a problem where you are consistently seeing expenses and you're not quite sure how to cancel them, definitely reach out to your bank. You might be able to have those funds stopped going forward. You can say it's an illegitimate charge, especially if it's something you don't want to be paying for. And they might be able to do something about it on their end. So look into that option as well. So yes, look into it, see what you can eliminate. Once you've determined what you can eliminate and you've gotten yourself down and you're not spending a ton of extra stuff that you don't really need to be spending anyways, then all you have to do is manage that going forward. The biggest issue with signing up for new subscriptions is free trials. Free trials are, they're great in the fact that they allow you to try something, but they're terrible in the fact that most of the time, or a good percentage of the time, you have to put a credit card in and they won't charge you for that first month, first year, whatever the situation is. But if you forget about it, they'll start charging you. And sometimes they'll start charging you quite a bit of money. So watch out for these. If you do have to absolutely sign up for a service, free trial, make sure you're doing one of two things. One, you are figuring that payment into your budget ahead of time. So in case you do forget or whatever the situation is, you've got money set aside for that. Or two, set a reminder for yourself, either in your calendar or your emails, whatever you may do, that you have to cancel this subscription. Put a link in if you have to and explain why the subscription exists and why you have to cancel it or why the free trial, why you signed up for the free trial in the first place. But yes, so that's today's lesson. Pretty simple, but very important. This is an area that, like I mentioned, can really start draining your funds, especially nowadays when so many things are switching over to subscription models. Subscriptions make life easier for us, but unfortunately, it makes it a lot easier for us to spend money where we don't need to be spending money. So keep an eye out. As always, I hope you guys like this video. Hopefully this will be useful to you and you can start cutting back some expenses. As always, if you're enjoying this series, feel free to subscribe. I appreciate it. I'd be interested if you are aware of any subscriptions that you're signed up to that you want to cancel, or if you have any stories of ones that you were not aware of and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, I'm paying an exorbitant amount of money on this. That's always fun. Maybe not at the time, but in retrospect. As always, you can hit me up on Twitter as well, link in the description, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another financial lesson. All right, guys, see ya.